Hello there, and as usual, I'm Aaron from Last Stand Gamers, and welcome. So today we're having a little bit of a behind the scenes episode to actually look at the drone alien sort of station. Now this place has been deeply requested after the video the other day. Now you guys wanted to see it in a little bit more detail, see some of the other areas, as well as just look and let us explain a little bit of it. Now the first thing I want to say is that this was created as like a group project between both me, Sage, and Scott, and with a little bit of help of a few other friends as well, and we started to build this large sort of alien station. And the idea of it is to be very sort of futuristic. We're using purpley alien sort of colours just to give it that sort of vibe. Many people have said it's got a sort of Halo vibe, and I believe them as well. I think the lighting as well as the purple areas, you're probably noticing there's a lot of light because there's a lot of different things, and this station is extremely large for what you've got here. So this is the first room that Scott's built. And you can see that we've got a number of different sort of alien drop pods. I've added a little bit of detail into it with some reactors to sort of speed different bits up, and you can see we've got the larger reactors up at the top for detail. It's just a beautiful little detailed area. You can imagine them storing humans in here for experimentation, teleporting them into here from different locations. I don't know, let your imagination run wild with it. And there's going to be a few Easter eggs also in this sort of video. I'm not going to explain them, I'm just going to let you see them and try to decipher them so they don't sort of spoil the story. So in this hangar here we have a much larger sort of alien ship. You can see it's docked there, transporting supplies, unloading them into the hangar. And on the other side we have a Henry there that I don't know why it's there at all. I'll let you try working that one out. And you can see we've got a number of different storage crates in this hangar as well. So the whole point of this being a modular station is for different sorts of drones, different sizes to fit through. And as you saw, the smaller drone was the most common drone in this station, and that's why there's a small hole there allowing it to pass through. But if a larger drone wants to pass through, or another sort of ship, these blast doors open up in this sort of form to expose this beautiful corridor. Now I can't take any credit for this because both Sage and Scott designed this corridor itself, and the idea of it is a very sort of modular idea where they can connect up all of the alien sort of rooms. And as I walk into it, the lights switch on, defining the reactors above, the sort of semicircle reactors. You've got this alien blue sort of levitating walkway below, as well as the lights that do this sort of illumination effect. You can see the dark and light patterns, as well as a number of windows on the other side that you could possibly look through and see the drones working away. So as we pass through this corridor, the platform ends here. Now the whole point of the platform ending is to give you a bit of a feel that the drones don't really need walkways, they don't need gravities, because they're just little boxes with a small computer chip inside or whatever hardware is used in the future, and they just drift around floating on their endless little courses. Now in this room we have Sage's ship from the earlier episodes. Now this is here because the aliens found it, decontaminated it from the virus in the previous sort of session, and I don't really know any more about it, to be honest, why they've actually got it here, but they have it here for some strange reasons. And they seem to explain it for experimentation of the primitive sort of life form transport system, but they repaired it and it's still got all the supplies that we had on board before. So as you can see, we've got this larger acorn-like room with these beautiful little sort of rain droplets of light that Sage built. You can see how he's extended different amounts of light on that area to add that little bit of effect, and I just thought that was amazing. And up there you've got some more reactors stored into this room itself. Now these acorn-like rooms have just got so much detail in that we never explored. You can see as we came up into this area, the reactor and the different areas pointing up into that segment, just a beautiful little design. And as we move back down to the bottom, we have the landing sort of pad for the ship. That feels like it's almost floating, and that's the feel that I really wanted for it to levitate, sort of make it feel like this no real access points, because the drones don't need them. They can just float over there and get aboard the ship, do the jobs as you want. So we're now entering another modular corridor. You probably noticed by now that the frame rate on this is very low, and that's because the station is very large, and that's the problem for that. Now we actually are entering the main reactor room, and this was my little child, and I had a lot of problems working on it. So Contraband, a friend of mine, came and helped me a little bit, because originally we had these stacked in sort of vertical fashion and they kept flying off and causing all sorts of havoc. And the whole idea is some sort of gravity drive that uses gravity to power the actual station. And I thought of the concept quite coolly, and I thought, well, I need to illustrate that idea with lots of technical advanced machinery. So we've got some sort of pulsing reactor at the top that controls a number of spinning gravitational drives that in that turn spins that, so it gives gravitational power to the station. But it's a bit of a far-fetched idea, but it made some sort of sense in my head. So as you come around here, there's also a number of catwalks and walkways, probably making you think why do drones need catwalks and sort of walkways with doors. And the whole point of this is to give a feeling that maybe someone else did the building here, someone else created this, or maybe it was programmed into the drones. Now if we go a little bit lower, you can see there's also drones darting around this area, and I'm just going to start up this machine if I can. So let's actually find an access point. I think we'll have one probably up on this door up here, and I can just grab control of this and control the actual reactor itself. So there we go, control, and I think the reactor is called, no, it's not called that one. I don't tend to name things very well, and I get in trouble a lot off stage for this. So let's go to the advanced rotors, and if we just turn them on, we should see them start to actually spin up to speed. So the reactor there is spinning, controlling the inner gyroscope, spinning the opposite way. The center also spins faster, and you notice the drones actually avoid collision with the paths themselves using the GPS coordinates, even though they dart in and out of the actual reactor cores themselves. So I thought that would be a really cool effect. This machine also generates a lot of multiplayer lag, and when it breaks, you do not want to be around this room. So we'll head into the final stage. This was a little bot. I'm not going to show you the bots because I believe Scott's going to do a video on the drones just to show you how he built them and stuff, but this is the older version that I built, and I wanted it to be a bit more clunky, bigger than 64 and his companions. So we'll head through here, and we've got a nice little airlock that's accessed by a button system that the drones seem to have just replaced with technology. And this whole room, the idea of it is it's excluded from the rest of the base because we need to keep the virus away from number one, this sort of robot here who's secured in this very heavily fortified sort of bunker. I've just added this extra button here for this purpose of this video so I can show you how that works. It's an iris door, you've seen them before, and 64, well not 64, number one remains there down below in the systems, and he basically can plug himself in from below and control the whole of the station, monitor everything, and be actually off the system himself. So that was the whole idea, disconnection from the system and isolation for this individual machine. So as he pops out of here, I can't really be bothered driving him up, so we'll just lift him up here. So there we go, we'll place him into spot. Now he's started out life quite funnily as a solar sail that was heavily modified. You can see the shape of the solar sail sort of heavily modified into a drone, and the whole idea of that was the creator himself had to use what he had to actually work with this machine, and he just built out familiar parts, and then over time he's been upgraded and exchanged for these more modern components, but he still remains as number one, the drone with this sort of purpose. I'm trying not to spoil things, that's why I'm not giving you too much away, but I'll leave you that to work out. And now that is the drone station, and hopefully it's giving you a little bit of inspiration to possibly build maybe your own drone station or alien sort of cryptic sort of pad. It's just really cool. I just really enjoyed building this with the guys. Anyway, I'd like to thank you guys for watching, and if you haven't seen our survival episode, make sure to check it out. It's a beautiful little bit of fun, and it's leading on to the next few scenarios.